I think I have an amazing gift that's called ADHD or ADD, whatever you want to call it. I am. It lets me multitask like nobody else, and it lets me compress time. So, how many of you guys have noticed whenever you have a guest coming over to your house that you're able to clean your house so much faster in that maybe 10 minutes before your guest shows up than any other time, right? That's compressing time. When you have like a tight deadline and you have like this burst of energy, you can get a lot done in a little bit of time. And I think it was God's gift to me that one, I have a weird brain, and two, that I have a lot of kids and a lot of obligations, because what that meant was I had to find a way to compress time or it wouldn't happen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Legacy's Journey, where we talk about creating what outlives you. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, owner of Kinley Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for marketing agencies so that they can live the dream life they deserve and not be a slave to their business. And of course, we do that through CFO services, accounting, tax strategy, finance strategy, you name it. Now, this is season 2. And, I said we're going to do it bigger. I got my wings up under me. I kind of got a little feel for what I'm doing. And so I had to put it out there. I said, Pete, I need y'all to tell me some great people that are already doing this at a high level that can come and speak to my people. That's y'all. And so, a lot of people threw names out there. And you know what? I see this lady every single quarter. She's held my baby. Like the first time I met her, she held the baby.
I love babies.
And so y'all are about to have a lot of fun. She's super high energy. She's going to make you laugh, make you smile, and then, hit you with all the genius all at the same time. So I'm excited to announce that we have the great Rachel Miller here. What's going on?
Cameron, thank you for having me. And you have the cutest kids.
They're all right. They're all right. All right. So tell the people, in case they don't know who you are, name of company, how long you've been doing it, and what you actually do to help your people.
Well, because this is like legacy and money, I could probably talk about my companies that nobody really knows about too. So I'm Rachel Miller, and I actually own 3 different EINs, and then one EIN is like a holding company that holds other companies. And so I'm like a business collector, and a lot of my companies, nobody knows Rachel Miller is the gal behind them. And one of my companies is a media company, and that company has had, we get 10 million page views a month at its high point. And that company owns a media company, and then we have a software arm of it. My other company is a training company where I teach people how to go viral on social media so they could have their own media companies. Because if you have control over the audience, you're the media. And so now you can determine what gets eyeballs because you get to control the audience. And so I teach people how to build their own audiences that they can control and manipulate and collect and all the fun things. And then, oops, there's a sneeze coming.
Bless you.
They always come in threes, and I'm sorry, guys. I know we're in Texas, and believe it or not, grass has started growing, so it's that season. So sorry, guys. Okay, so one company is my media company. Next one is my training company. And then the third one is the one most people don't know about, and that's a holding company where I collect my other little businesses, the boring businesses, and I invest in them. So one day they will pay me. Which means some years, like this past year, we actually went negative in a big way. But that's because I bought up a bunch of little companies or bought up stake in a bunch of companies. So that way I had a future payout coming one day. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
I told y'all, interesting. Don't let the smile fool you. She's going to make you laugh, but you're going to be like, wait a minute. Okay. Now, everybody knows I take notes because y'all, y'all genius people. Y'all just say it so casual, and I'm like, ooh, that was a gem. So let's backtrack. 3. By the way, with her AI, she comes up with, I don't even know how to describe it, so I'm going to let her do that, but it's some wizard.
Yeah, my media company owns a software company that runs an AI, and it's been a lot of fun to
You see how
it.
her face lit up? Like, it's a lot of wizardry going on with that. But okay, so to be clear, because I have to do this at the beginning of every episode to establish credibility of said guest, not just one company. 3, all successful. I want to throw that in there.
I mean, we've all had our moments of success. Like I said, this year is a negative year, but everyone has had moments of success for sure.
See, she humble. And it's because she believes in Jesus, but I'm just telling you, she's successful in the high.
I want to be clear so that way we're honest. Not every entrepreneur, like some of you are going to have days where you're like, "Oh, I feel like it's 2 step backwards or 1 step forward but 2 steps back." And often, now that I've been in this journey for like 15 years, I can see that those times when it was 2 steps back were when I went backwards and was like, that was a huge step onto that deck. We have to go back and build these little steps so we can move forward. And now we have an amazing like thing, right? So that's what this last year has been a lot of foundation building because I've been building into other companies.
We're gonna call it Miller Enterprises because she's that fire. All right, so let's start breaking this down. So now let's start with the obvious question, I would think. Oh, by the way, happily married with kids. So let's start merging all these different pieces. So you're married, have multiple kids, but you run 2 businesses mainly and at least have say in these others. How are we managing our time? Because it's only 24 hours in a day and you have to go to sleep.
I think I have an amazing gift that's called ADHD or ADD, whatever you want to call it. It lets me multitask like nobody else, and it lets me compress time. So how many of you guys have noticed whenever you have a guest coming over to your house that you're able to clean your house so much faster in that maybe 10 minutes before your guest shows up than any other time, right? That's compressing time. When you have like a tight deadline and you have like this burst of energy, you can get a lot done in a little bit of time. And I think it was God's gift to me that 1, I have a weird brain, and 2, that I have a lot of kids and a lot of obligations, because what that meant was I had to find a way to compress time or it wouldn't happen. And just like that feeling whenever somebody's coming over, I just have that feeling a lot of times during the day as we do different tasks. So I'll set a time and be like, okay, I got to finish this. Like I had 5 different things I had to do before I hopped on to this call today, which is great. I was like, awesome. I have a call then. I have to do all of this before I get on with Cameron. And that compressed time for me, which meant I was able to get more done than I would if I had an open timeline.
I know that feeling. That sense of urgency just gets it done every time, even if you can create it.
It does.
Okay, so there's that. So now we'll start with family. So happily married for how many years?
21 and like a little bit. Isn't that crazy? He still likes hanging out with me.
So shout out today. So okay, tell us now. You got all these businesses; they're really successful, or you got pieces, so you're trying to build them. How do we keep that time going throughout the week? Is there like we always do date night or movies, or do we go to our favorite pizza place or something like that?
We are weird. We probably don't fit like what you're supposed to do in a marriage. We go grocery shopping on Sundays. We sit and watch TV together. We kiss a lot. I don't know. We don't go on regular dates. We just hang out. So we drive our children back and forth to their umpteenth activities. We don't have like couple time that we focus on each other. We're just always focusing on each other. So it kind of works.
Okay. Now you talked about the kids. Now, how is that? Because especially, and we've had plenty of female guests on here. We thank God for our lovely women because y'all are all rock stars. But because you're a rock star, I know that also means you're not just, I can only work and I'm good. Like, no, you got to work. You're helping people get into bed. And did you eat? And did you get to school and these different activities? What is that like being a mom and a happy, like she loves being a mom, by the way. And I only know this because we talked about it. She enjoys being a mom, but she enjoys working hard in her business and helping her clients and creating. So how is it balancing that? Because I know there's the emotional pull of mom, I need support and hugs and all kinds of stuff.
Well, part of it is that I have a hubby who's like a full parent too. So I'm a full parent and my husband's a full parent. So I don't have to remember like when the doctor's appointments are because he helps remember when the doctor's appointments are. I don't have to like manage what's going to be for supper because we made the list together on Sunday. We shopped for all the ingredients. We put them all in different bags. So we know what to like. Nobody has to like, there's not a discussion as to what, I don't have the mental load that I know a lot of other women do. We set our house up without me having to be that mental carrier. And that doesn't mean my husband's the mental carrier either. It means that we've kind of like shared that role, and we've even shared some of it with our kids. So like on Sundays, we'll make a meal plan and the kids will give us meal plan ideas. We make a meal plan. We get the grocery items together. We put them each in a like we go to Walmart or Kroger. Kroger's probably usually where we go. And each shopping bag, we put the groceries for that day into one bag. So now even our teenagers, all of our children can now grab a bag and go cook when it's supper time. So it kind of takes all the, we did a lot of things to take the thought process and the mental load off of managing our house, so that it's not just one mom. So I feel a lot of moms don't feel like they could run businesses, and it's probably because they're taking a lot of that ownership on themselves instead of realizing you're a family, which means you're a team. So everyone in the family can manage that load with you. It doesn't have to be just you.
See? You see how she smiled at the beginning and the end, dropped the knowledge, and then smiled again? See what I'm saying? I told y'all. That's what she does. She drops the gem and then smiles and laughs until you get it and the light goes on. Okay. Now, I want to say with the amount of kids you have, how are you finding time to connect with them individually? But I feel like
some of them I struggle with, to be honest. One of our children is less like, how do I say it? He might be, hopefully he won't listen to this podcast later, but he's probably on the spectrum. Okay. The kid's a little bit more, he's harder to hug than my other kids. Some of my kids will come up for hugs, and this one's like, Mom, you're touching me. You're touching me. He's just not as touchy-feely of a kid. That one, I have to intentionally say, did I talk to him today? The other ones, they each come to me for like hangout time. So in the morning, I hang out with two of my kids, as mostly two of my kids. They have like a half-hour gap after the other kids leave. They hang out for half an hour and then they go to school. One of my kids comes home for lunch because she's a senior. So she comes home for lunch and she sits and chit chats with me. Then my other two of the kids comes after school. They'll come in and they'll sit and talk, and we'll usually eat potato chips because I love potato chips. We'll snack on potato chips together. It's my like guilty thing I do with my younger kids. And anyways, okay. But one of them, I have to say, did you talk to him today? Did you see him? Is he alive and breathing? You better go check. So one of them, I have to intentionally seek them out. And so thankfully, my other five do find me, and I don't have to have that mental load of checking in as much. But I do have that load with one of them.
And I think that goes to what you're saying about building that teamwork, that ecosystem. Like, we all know this is the one that needs more attention. We know this is the one that's going to come find me and tell me everything. This is the one that enjoys talking to me. This is the one, I got to ask a little bit more questions. So
I gotta go find them and see what's going on.
So I think that just gives a beautiful illustration of like the same attention to detail you're doing for the business. Like, which of your kids are where and how to incorporate them into just your daily thing. Now, you touched on this real quick. You said a lot of moms that run businesses don't think they can go back to that part. Because I think this is important, because I know I've seen on Facebook with some of our mutual friends where they're like, it is so hard. It is so draining to be an active, present mom and to still grow the business, not just as a side hustle, but like at least mid six figures.
Yeah. It is hard if you're having to do it all yourself. But thankfully, I love systems, and yet I'm horrible at systems. What that means is I create a system and then I offload it to someone else. So with my family, we created a meal system. All I have to do is make sure the groceries are in the cart, and they're or Instacart even delivered them occasionally. They're not doing a great job of picking out the right thing. So now I'm shopping again, but whatever. As long as I make sure the food's in the house, then the system can run. So I've created a system for food. I've created a system for traffic. I've created a system for fulfillment. I've created a system. Even my whole software is because we needed a system to deliver more sales funnels faster. And so we needed a way to automate it. And I couldn't find a software out there that automated it, wrote it, delivered it, sent the emails, created the ads, and connected it all together at one time. I needed more systems. So I'm like on a mission to find the systems. And then once I find the system, because I hate keeping the system, I find someone else to fulfill that system behind me in my home and in everything.
See, I told y'all, see what I'm saying? So see, that's why she built an AI and stuff to do all the millions.
I know, it's kind of fun.
Okay. Now let's transition to the business side because we see you love it. By the way, is there something that you and the kids like to do? You talked about the chips. Is there like in our case, Saturday is pancake day? Is there like a pizza day or movie day or family something?
We used to, but now 3 of my children work. So before we had teenagers that all work, when they were little, we used to go to the park on Saturday mornings, and like we used to have movies and ice cream on Fridays. And now they all work and they're all in sports. So it's like, okay, it's track season now. So we're going to go to the games on Fridays, but not with this kid. And Saturdays, my husband runs. So I have to go get donuts. It's just, no, we don't do anything. I'm lucky if I can get them all to eat dinner with me at one time. I do make them go to church on Sundays.
That
So,
works.
yeah, that's our current tradition, but there was a time when our traditions were more than just church. That's like one of the only things I have all my kids at one time. Like literally they're all working. So at least the 3 older kids. So I actually have my 3 oldest teenagers work, and then my husband works out of the home. So between the 4 of them, and then the younger 3 have track meets currently, and before that it was wrestling, and before that it was, I don't remember what sport it was. I get them all mixed up. So anyways, I get them all mixed up, and no, they don't have any. Our routine is just every day is different.
So notice that's not just one kid. So she knows what she's talking about, and you can be successful with multiple kids. So I'm just throwing that out there. All right, now let's talk about.
I have 6.
And she loves them all and is happy to hug them because she brought one to a conference and she was just smiling and happy. We were like, "Where's your mom?" She didn't make it.
Oh, that was the time I lost my passport. That was horrific.
Oh man,
horrific,
we were
horrific.
like, "What do you mean?" Yeah, she's not here.
It was horrific. I was sure I was going to make it on the next flight behind her. That was pretty bad. Anyways, God had a plan for it. I didn't understand it, but God had a plan that day. So.
Okay, now let's get back to the businesses. All right, let's talk about each one in its own separate silo because there's power in each one. So let me go back to my notes. So let's start with the one that you're probably the most popular or most well known because of is your strategy for content. So again, just super short summary. Tell the people what that one is.
So that's Moolah, and that I teach a course on how to go viral on Facebook or basically on any social algorithm. So we've taught people how to go viral on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And some of my students have grown audiences into the millions. We've helped 15 people create from 0 to 1 million fans without ads, followers following them. We've helped over 51. I haven't added to that number since last year, but last summer, I counted it was 51 businesses reached 10 million people with a single post of content without ads. So like they didn't put ads out and they were able to reach 10 million people with content. So with a single post. So we're really known at being able to sing the algorithm's song. And then once I figured out how an algorithm works, then it was like, okay, we broke it down. Here's the steps to be able to get the algorithms, the social media algorithms, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok to talk to you. Now, how do you capture that traffic and convert it to be a buyer? So that's been a lot of fun teaching that class. We've had 27,000, I think we're almost at 28,000 now, students through those programs. And yeah, it's been kind of crazy.
Okay, now again, she did it all with a smile, so you got to keep up. She's my high energy person. Now, she talked about essentially we get all the attention. The most important part was, and I want you to hit on this, how to convert all that attention now that you have it into actual money. So as an agency, what are maybe 2 or 3 things that you suggest if I'm let's say an agency making 500 grand or 300 or maybe even close to $1 million? What are some of the key things I need to be thinking about? Because I can get my people to, oh, you made this super great post and you got all this engagement. But to your point, unless it's making you money, you just got a lot of people that just hit the like button or scrolled or tapped. What would be 2 or 3 things that you would say is something you need to make sure you're doing with your social media to convert all that intention into money?
Well, I would worry first about converting it into leads so you capture it for the future, and then make sure you have a system in place to be able to deliver for that traffic. So, like right now, in the last week, we had 4 different companies ask us to, and we're pretty expensive for us to manage their social media. And while I would love to, get their $5,000 each and me run, like set up their social media system for them, I don't have enough team members to be able to take on like that level of work next week. I just don't. So for me, I don't want to promote that business right now. I want to attract leads. And then when I have the leads and I have one opening, I can add one person. I have 2 openings, I can take 2 people. I think the biggest mistake that agencies do is that they try to bring everybody on at once and they actually collapse their business because they're unable to deliver at the level that is expected. So for me, yeah.
So, okay, now you're talking about capacity fulfillment. I think that was something that's super key because a lot of people say, oh, well, I need the money. That's X amount of money times 4, and I'll take it. But I'm sure you've seen how, I'll let you tell it. What have you seen?
Yeah, if I take on 4 new clients, which is 20 grand this week, my company can't sustain it. So like, could I scale my company? Yeah. But I mean, like, could I scale my traffic? Yes. But if I don't have a fulfillment system set up, then I'm not ready for it. So instead of attracting them and converting them to buyers, I'm going to collect that audience and put them into a list that's warm and hot and keep them as leads until I'm ready to convert them to a buyer.
Code. She just gave y'all a cheat code. Okay. So that's this business. Now, let's talk about the newer one, which you said was the media company that has the software. Tell us about that one.
So that company is actually my oldest company, and it's also my newest in the sense we have the media company, which runs a bunch of different blogs. So a DIY blog, a parenting blog, like I think we have crock pot meals. I put my cat audience into that one too. How to clean your home. So anyways, it has a bunch of like different websites. Most of those websites get like 100. I think my smallest website gets 17,000 visitors a month, but my largest one gets into the millions per month visitors to the website, the blog. And so that media company runs those blogs. And then in addition to that, I made a software company. So my media company needs, the way it makes money, it doesn't have my face on it. No one knows it's Rachel behind the scenes. And so the media company needs products that we're able to sell to my audience, in addition to affiliate products, in addition to ad revenue from different people putting sites on, like ads on the content of my website. So here's the thing, traffic, because of the way Google's going and generative AI and stuff, we're not getting as much traffic to my website. Also, ad revenue, because they can't track the ad as much, has gone down for those websites as well, which I'm like, not a problem. So now we just sell more of our own products. But when one site's about cats, the other site's about crock pots, and the one site's about cleaning your house, the next one's about how to fix your garbage disposal in your house, and the next site's about like parenting your toddler, I'm like, that's a lot of different niches for me to create lots of different products for. And so I needed a way to build like a system so I could build 47 products at a time. And so I created a system where like, here's the sales page template, here's the email template, and we just go in and we manually change like the words and we change the topics. So now it fits to each one. But even doing that, for us to build the sales page, design the sales page, hook it all up, that brought the system of how to build a product from say 3 weeks down to like 6 hours. But I'm like, I want something that I can do this in minutes because I have 47 of them to do. And I'm not spending 6 hours each one. And that's when I created a software company that then built all of my products for me so I could build them like this instead of one at a time.
All right, so let's go into the new argument. Are you team SaaS or are you team marketing agency?
I'm actually more SaaS than marketing agency. I don't think, and for me personally, I don't see my agency as scalable, whereas I do see my SaaS company as
Let's
scalable.
go into that because some people argue, to your point, well, no, if you just hired more people, you'd have more capacity, which means you can make that 20 grand and you'd be good to go. Your rebuttal to that is?
Well, I don't like running a large team. I like working from home. I don't see myself having an office with people, and I don't see myself like it's easy to scale when you have an office and people come into the office because you can kind of monitor what they do more. Whenever you scale a larger company and you're all remote, it gets harder to keep controls over the company. So I used to have a company that had, I think my largest, we had like 21 people in it. And that was miserable for me because basically my job was just following up with everybody. And that's not a fun, I'm a creator. I like
But you're a
doing,
people
I didn't,
person.
that wasn't, yeah, that wasn't, I didn't enjoy it at all. So even as a people person, I don't like managing a team. And so for me, what's the team size that I do like managing? Awesome. Let's make that my goal is we're going to have only that size of company. Well, I can't scale to serve a lot of clients at the level that my $5,000 package is if I have a team of say only 3 or 4 people on that company and 5 people on the other company. That's not really doable. So instead, what I've done is I've made a software so that that is scalable. I can have 27,000 people like buyers and it won't take any more energy from my team.
Mhm. Okay. So team SaaS because it's more scalable. All right. Now this means
Yes.
that you
And transferable too. Because if you're an agency, in my mind, the agency tech, you can sell your agency, but you have to sell your team with the agency. Whereas the software, it's a transferable asset. I can sell the software and I can sell my like a part of the team with the software, and I still have the knowledge to go build the next similar thing, but not the same. And it's a easily transferable asset.
okay. This means you build teams. You just said you had a team of 21. You didn't like which, by the way, let's pause. I want you guys to realize how self-aware she is from the standpoint of like, hey, I'm working from home. I got 6 kids. I love them. I got a husband. Love them. So I don't want to grow something too big that messes up my day to day. And then just in knowing who she is as a person, like that doesn't juice me up to go babysit 21 different people. I'd rather keep a team of like 5 or
No,
less. So I think that's super important because I think that we are taught or maybe it's suggested that like, no, you keep growing. You just scale as big as you can go. When to your point, like everybody may not need that. Everybody may not want the work
no,
and the stress and the team management that comes with that. So you just drop that little
no.
nugget that was free. I'm going deeper though. This means you've hired a lot of people. This means you've also
I have hired
you've
50.
fired. I was about to say you've probably also let go of a lot.
We thankfully, I've only had to fire, I think, 2 people. Everybody else, we find them a better spot. So because I've got so much like reach in the world, I can say I have this amazing team member. They're amazing for me. Here's the 3 different team members. Like I can find people to take them who are better positions for that person and will take them farther in their career and their goals than they could have ever gotten like staying with me. So thankfully we've been able, almost all of my employees leave me to, when they leave me, they have like 250,000 salaries and they're doing very
Which
well.
means they were
Doing far better leaving me than they did staying with
which
me for
means
sure.
they were taught some amazing skills from an amazing leader. So let's stay right there.
They they've been like, I'm very very grateful with the seeing what my former employees have gone on to do. Some of the huge biggest companies have brought them on, so yeah,
So
it's
now
been a
let's talk
blessing.
about some of these people. So now you've done this at a high level, been in the game 15 years. Tell us, in your
Mhm.
opinion, if I'm looking for, and I know like a few of her current team members, so the people you may describe as like the ones you love to work with now, top 3 things that you found is universal across your team. Like they all have these 3 characteristics versus the people that you probably shouldn't hire, but I was being nice. They had these characteristics that I was like, yep, you're going to sink the ship.
Okay, this is opposite everyone's advice, but remember, I'm not building a big company, and I'm not. I don't fit the mold of everybody
Okay, that's
else.
fair. That's fair.
I hire the first person that applies for the job that's qualified because I figure God's going to send the right person to me. And if they're meant to be with me, then they'll stay. If they're not meant to be with me, then we'll find them something better for them.
Right.
When this happened, to put this in perspective, yes, yes. So I actually had a position where we needed to hire new blog writers for one of my companies. And I thought I was going to hire one person. And instead, because of the way I've always run my companies, I had 144 people apply that day for the same job. And so I hired the first one that applied to be the manager for the other 144, and then brought the 144 people on as contractors and said, here's the work, and I will find you your next, I will write I'll get you your next position. So we brought on 144 people at one time because God sent me 144 people for me to love and invest in, care for, love on for the time that I got to have them working for me. And they performed the job. They got reviews. They got like testimonials. They got resume stuff for their resume. They got skills that they were now transferable with. And then a lot of them have messaged me and told me that they're running their own companies now. So that's a philosophy we've kind of had from the beginning. As long as they're decent and we do like a skills test, we make our sales page so they know what kind of company they're coming into. It's like a sales funnel. Every single role has like a sales page for that role. So they know what kind of company, what kind of vibe they're joining. And they sign up for it. If they come in, we give them a project. If they're not good at the project, we let them go because they were just coming in for a paid project. Whenever the paid project is done, if they're not like a good fit, they just move on. And if they are a good fit, then they join our team. And very rarely have we had to let somebody go. And if we do let somebody go, it's usually in the first week because we realize that what they said that they were wasn't what was reflected in the work. For example, we hired somebody to do XYZ work. They probably hired somebody else on Fiverr to deliver it, and then they dropped the ball. So we're like, that's not really you. So other than that kind of scenario, we generally keep the people that God sends to us. And it's worked out pretty well for us so far. Yeah, kind of crazy. And almost everyone worked for me. I'm one of their first jobs. So that first starts with me. So yeah.
What was that answer? Okay.
No one is. No one likes that one. And no one's like, what's your secret? I'm like, my secret is I hire the first person that's appropriate for the job.
Okay. Well, I mean, this works, so we can't knock it.
For me, the energy to like pick which person is energy that I'd rather just spend investing in the person that we're going to have. And I'm a quick start. So if you look like they're the right one, I pray and ask God to send the right person to me. And when that first person arrives, then that must be it. And we move on.
So you're more of the mindset that like I can coach up and cultivate anybody as long as they have the prerequisite skills.
Yeah, pretty much almost anybody has been we've had a lot of really great fits in our company. We show them who we are. So we attract the right people and we push people away that are like, oh, that's kind of weird. We've had a couple people come to the first interview and are like, well, this is really weird. So wait, I'm going to do what? So the right people stay and the wrong people leave. So.
All right. So, no, I can still ask that question. Top 3 characteristics across the people who stayed or are on your current team that you're like, I would suggest if you're not going to do it the way I do it, I've seen these 3 characteristics be universal across the board, and that's what helped us to keep them, and they perform great work.
We take a chance on, I don't think there's one skill set because you can't have a skill set per person because each job is different. So like my guy who does DevOps, which is like server balancing our servers, he's extremely detail oriented. I am not a detail person. One of my lead coders, not a detailed person. You would assume a coder has to be a detailed person, but he's a little bit more visionary, which is great because I can like bounce ideas off of him. So like I didn't know we were going to hire a visionary coder. I just was hiring a coder. And then as he was with us, I was like, oh, he actually does really good at seeing future pictures and getting ideas. He doesn't do very well with fixing a bug that he made before. So we won't have him on fixing. We'll have him. I don't know, maybe because we have a small team, we're able to tailor the roles to the people that we get, and look for the greatness in everyone. So like I said, most of our employees, my coders, we are their first, all but like 2 of them, I'm their first job. So they never really worked. They had like one other person that they'd worked for before me. We've almost all of my employees come from a situation where they've been fired or they've had an issue where they've fallen out and fallen on hard luck. One of my best writers was 28. And the last time she had worked came to me and was like, I was told I was a good writer in high school. That's who I love. And
Wait, why?
there's no,
Because everybody else can be like, you haven't written since high school. You're 28. We don't have the time to train you or to pay for all these courses. And you're saying,
well, I make their job. They come in and they have like a sales page that says, this is what we're expecting from you. And this is how we're expecting you to show up with projects and stuff. Then after that, I give them, here's your job like requirements. And in each job requirement, we have like a video as to how to do that task. And then after they have that job requirement, then we have like a checklist that they're going to go through with their team. And that checklist might be random projects that they're working on. So like, here's your 15 projects that we're doing this week and 15 projects for next week. Or it could be like every day in customer service, you're going to do these 10 things. And each one of those tasks has a video with them. So I don't have to train them. I made the video set once, and whenever they're in that job, if there's a change, they need to make the video, they put it into the doc, and we move on with our day. So everyone's training their future person to come in after them. It's kind of set up that way. And they're training them to move on to their next amazing position after they've worked with me. But yeah, I hire people right from the beginning, and we do take care of them as they're with us. So
this is why I'm a fan. And this is why every time I see her, I give her a hug. Okay, let's go to now this is going to be the fun one, I'm sure. Let's talk about the holding company. No, we're not going to tell y'all about holding companies and the technical finance aspect. So skip that.
Oh, because you're in finance and you love the concept of how I do all the intricacies of that.
I'll be like, you know what? You have what? Okay, so let's talk about it because this is a hot topic right now. People are talking about how there are people that are getting older. They want to get rid of their companies. There are some people because of health reasons. They want to get rid of whatever the reason. Some I need the capital and I need somebody to trust and believe. So when you're going to find a company to invest in, what are some of the things that you're looking for that makes you say, this seems like a good idea for me to throw money behind it?
Okay, you're going to really love this one too.
No.
Okay. Like I have no ability to tell if a company's a good one or not. So like I just have my gut. Like, does it sound fun? That's pretty much it. Does it sound fun? And then we have a banking system where the money comes into one bank, and then that's our like what we need to live on for the month. Everything extra goes into like a rainy day account. That's like 1 month or 6 months. No, the rainy day account has like 3 months in cash, right? So it goes into that account. So like, let's say a kid breaks their arm or we have to, whatever, like my son needs a new car last minute because whatever, he broke his car. So whatever, that's our like emergency fund, has about 3 months of cash. Then we have like 6 months up to 6 months of cash in the savings account. So it like rolls down. And so after it meets the 6 month mark of cash that we have to live on, then it automatically goes into an investment account. So I don't have to like move money. I just put money into my savings account. Everything extra just rolls down. Into the investment account, we have where all of the money in the investment account, whenever it gets to 100K, we get like a notification on my husband's and my phone. And when we get the notification, we say, okay, well, when's the next deal that comes our way? So we get the notification like not the last one we bought, but the time like before that, we got the notification on like Friday, you have 100K. So it's ready to invest. We go to church and somebody's like, I want my father's best friend doesn't have any grandkids. And he has like so many car washes that he owns. And he said I could inherit his car washes, but only if I built one myself from the ground up. And that sounds amazing, but I don't know how I could do that. I don't have the money for that. I was like, great, awesome. Guess what? We had 100K. God must want us. Like, it's beautiful. Like, that's how we invested. Like, we didn't pick it. God brought it to us. Some of them have gone poorly because you know what? We didn't do a whole lot of research into it. And we learned from that. But some of them have done very, very well. And we just wait for the next, because I can't value if something's a good deal or not. I don't have that skill set. And I don't really know, honestly, who to trust. So we just wait until something comes our way after we get that notification. And so it's really just a timing issue. And I trust that God's going to take care of us, and that there's also like a balancing diversification. So let's say 5 of them fail miserably, which sounds crazy, but that's the reality of life, is that some of them are going to fail. But a quarter of them do very well. Well, then if that's the case, then 25% will carry the load for the rest of them and will still come out a profit. And in my mind, it's about as equal of a risk as keeping the money in the bank account, because if I kept the money in the bank account, I'd be losing the inflation rate right now. So like the difference of, as we're having inflation, I'd lose that. So in my mind, it kind of washes out and I get depreciation for my taxes and it all works out. So we'll see. But yeah, it's probably not the answer that anybody else gives.
I just knew you were going to be like, oh, we look at their financials and see if they're cash positive and what's their MRR. And no, we just
No. Oh, I do pick something that I think I can add value to secretly. So like the car washes, I quietly ran some geo-targeted ads and helped them grow their membership to the car wash. I didn't do that officially. They don't know I did it. I mean, they do know, but they didn't bring me on as a partner to do that. I just ran some geo-target. I know that if they start having like financial where they're not getting people in, I can probably run another marketing campaign and get more people into the car wash, as long as the car wash delivers what it promises, which is washing cars. So like one of my apartment complexes, if they didn't have like capacity, we want to keep it at like, I think like 5% gap, where so there's so many apartments that are empty. But if it drops below whatever, that 10% or something like that, then I might run an ad to drive more people in to that apartment complex for a little while and then stop. So I know that if I can buy into that business and do a little marketing tweaks and do my jam, then I can add some secret sauce to it. So there's that.
Are you a fan of like a monthly payout, or are you a fan of at the end of the year, I want my equity percentage? What does that look like? Because this is multiple companies, different industries. What would you suggest is your preference?
My preference is I don't even care if I don't make anything. I want to make 2x whenever I exit. So my hope is that whenever we sell those companies or sell our stake in something, that I'm able to 2x my exit.
So now we're talking mindset, because you're going to have some people that's going to be like, no, I need to be getting paid every month. I need to make the money back that I invested plus some. You're saying your strategy at least is, I'll keep all these car washes, and in 5 years, I'll sell all 17 of them to whoever wants to buy. But hey, if I put 50 grand in, then I need to get at least 100 back.
Mm-hmm. I'm expecting to get double in 7 years for each one, or that's my hope. Like I said, I don't know yet. Like I'm still in that early stage of just collecting them. We haven't gotten to 7 years, so I can't promise you that that's what will happen. But some of them are already giving us like return checks, and some of them aren't. My hope is that in 7 years, with 7-ish years, so maybe 6, maybe 8, I don't know, somewhere in there, we'll be able to sell each asset and from the appreciation, make an income from that.
All right, let's bring this to the finances, because I think I'm going to make sure y'all kept up. So A, she has enough money to pay regular bills, starting there, which means groceries for 6 plus 8 people, etc. And she got the rainy day fund. Then she just got a general savings fund. Once she hits a certain number, which means she has a budget, then she goes to invest. So
the way we have a budget is kind of different from probably everybody else. We just have where whatever money is in our living account, that's what we get to spend. We don't actually like budget. Does that make sense?
Right.
I tried budgeting. That took too much mental space from my brain. And I was like, I got to go work on a business now. We're not budgeting.
Y'all need a budget though, because y'all are.
So it's hard. Like for me, the way do you mind if I doodle it? Is this
I
crazy?
mean, if this is
Do
your
you people
no, you
hear
can
it
do
or
what you
like?
want to do.
Okay, so the way it works is how many of you like you look at a spreadsheet and you're like, I can't follow where the numbers are. So what I do is I have this like cup of money. And let's say that cup is 10K. That's how much I get to live on each month. I don't refill it until the next month when the money enters. Oh, it's not even in focus. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Is that better? Okay, well, okay. So I've got 10K and the money goes into the cup. So every say second of the month or whenever my husband's paycheck comes in from his city, I add my distribution, my paycheck at the same time. That titles 10K. That's all we have to live on that month. So all of our money comes out of here. I don't have to budget. I just open up the account and either the money's there or the money's not there. We have 10K in that one. Then we have like a backup bucket, and that bucket has usually 3 months. So this has an extra 30K. And then 30K is in this one. That's what we have for like when a kid breaks their bones. We have an unexpected car we have to buy, which, okay, we bought like a cheap junker. It was like $6,000 car, but it came out of this account because my son, we got in accidents, things happen. Okay. So there's the 30K. Then the next backup. So this is the emergency one. The emergency one is, we have another 30K in that one. Now, the 30K one, like right now, we actually are less than 30K in it because we had my son had to be in the hospital for 5 days last month. So this one now has like 20K in it because we always make sure we have this one has to be filled first. Once that one's filled, then we'll fill the next one. So this one dropped down to 20K because of the hospital bill. We had to pay I think it was like 12 grand that month. So this money went into here. So now this one's down some. Does that make sense? Until we get the extra surplus that trickles down. So these all we can access. We can open up our bank account. We can see that money. After this, then we have like a vault. This is a separate bank. So when this reaches 10K, the surplus automatically moves to the next account in that bank account. When this one reaches 30K, it automatically moves to the next account. After this is full at 30K, so now it's going to take like probably 2 months for it to reach back up to 30K. We won't be putting anything into our investment fund until it gets back up to our 30K here. And at that point, I think my daughter's going to college. So we might not put anything into our vault for a while this year because my daughter's got college. My son's actually, both my seniors. Anyways, we'll probably it'll be a little, know that not every month do we get to put something in the vault. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the vault. The vault, once it's at 100K, this is a separate bank. I don't have access to it on my phone. I have to physically walk into the bank to get the money out. It's hard for me to get my money in my vault. It's in my vault. I can't access it. So I tend to keep my money there because it's a pain in the butt to get it. And then anything past 30K, the bank sends a check to the other bank, which holds my vault.
All right, now there's some finance for you. So again, she's saying it's not a budget. This is a looser budget, but it's essentially prioritizing where the money goes. So I think everybody gets all caught up in, oh, I want to invest. I want to have multiple streams of income because that's what all the gurus say. Notice she took care of the home front first. Do we have enough to live?
Yes.
Emergency fund, super savings, then invest. And again, she's been at this for 15 years now. This is not year 3, 4, or 5 where she's still trying to achieve and do all these. So just keep all of that in mind that as you're making these choices, where am I at in life? How do I want my team to be ran? Do I have an in-person or virtual? Am I responsible for a building? Do I have other assets? How many kids do I have? Am I married? Am I single? All of these different things matter to you and what you're going to do with your money. And she believes in money now. She believes like it's important. We need it. But just the way she's handling it for her and her custom situation is different. So, all right.
Yeah.
So your strategy is the prayer strategy. Okay. Do we look at financials of said company at all? Like, do we ask about them?
They give them to me.
Okay, good. So this means you know how to read them. Okay. Top things if you want me to buy your business. Let's take out the fact that I prayed about it because I'm sure they can show it to you and you can be like, so let's say they show it to you. What are 2 or 3 things that can disqualify them from being purchased?
If I don't think it's a great area or if I don't think it's a great industry. So like we had an offer to buy a grocery store, like a portion of a grocery store. And I didn't like, I was like, no, I don't feel like grocery stores or restaurants are like, I feel like those are so volatile sometimes. And they have like I just have to feel it. I don't know how to explain it. I just have to feel it. So
That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair. I'm not mad at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Best investment to date that's produced the greatest ROI.
Education and understanding like knowledge in myself. So probably like the books I've read, because $10 $19 book, I've easily made hundreds of thousands and even possibly millions off of single books that I've read.
Speaking of millions.
So that would be the highest.
Speaking of millions. What are
Yeah, I think I can probably honestly say I can think of 2 or 3 books that I've made over $1 million off of that individual book.
Reading is important, y'all. Okay, dang it. We didn't even get into AI really. Crap. Okay. Top 3 things that you would tell a new agency to not do to hit $1 million. Like, don't do if your goal is to hit $1 million, do not do these or else you're going to take forever.
Oh, I don't know. See, there's so many paths that are the right path. It just depends on them. I don't think I would know enough to say, don't do this, because everybody has to do their lessons to get there. And sometimes zigging when everyone else is zagging is what's going to make it for you. So really, I'd have to talk to the individual person.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Cool things that your accountant or CFO is telling you to do to help you to continue to grow.
My CFO doesn't talk to me, so I don't really have too many meetings with them. Like we just set this up and then I haven't talked to him in a little while. So what I have is I have like an accountant and then I have a bookkeeper, and my accounting team has somebody who's like does finances. And theoretically we're supposed to meet once a year and we haven't done that. So I think we forgot the last 2 years. So. You would probably tell me that my software company is an expensive hobby and I should probably quit it. So I haven't met with them. I have a software company. It's not making, well, it's making payroll, but it's not like profitable yet. It's been very expensive. Anybody who has business sense is going to say that was a bad idea. Unless they understood that we're building something for the future. So like, anyways, so yeah. Yeah. I don't really have a CFO that's active in my life or my business.
How has your definition of success changed from when you started 15 years ago to present day?
I think I value the simple life a lot more now. I used to chase like popularity and chase stages and chase getting my name out there. Or there was a time when I built my business without my name. And then there was a time when I built my business like, oh, let's bring Rachel attention. And then now it's like, why do I want a bigger house? Why do I want a different car? I think I'm just going to keep the same house that I've always had for the last whatever number 10 years. And I'm always like, I think I value more the simple life and the stability. So for me, that's probably what's changed a lot.
If you could go back in time, if you had 30 seconds to go back in time, knowing everything you know present day, what would you tell the high school or college version of Rachel?
To hang on, because the Rachel who just graduated college and was going to do 2 dead-end jobs and then have baby after baby and think her life, like I wasn't able to teach anymore. I had this plan of what I was going to do with my life and I was crushed. I would tell her to just take that next step, because just like I did, you're going to take wrong steps, you're going to take right steps. But as long as you keep taking steps, you're moving in the right direction. So the worst thing I could do is just be inactive. and instead keep taking steps forward. You're going to go places with that. And the place you're going to go is different from what you expect. And that's okay. And that's good.
All right. Well, dang. I wish we had more time. We didn't even get into her thoughts on AI and how she's using her tech.
It's been fun to code in AI. Let's just say that's been the most fun right now. I'm having the time of my life, but I'm not asking my CFO if it's a wise idea. It may have cost me like $500,000.
Oh, gosh.
It's okay. I know that I'm building the future. So I'm having a lot of fun. And thankfully, I had the money saved up that I could blow what most people would consider to be ridiculous amounts of money on something that I believe in. So, yeah.
With that being said,
Not blow. I'm building something amazing. What am I saying? Why did I say it that way? I'm investing in a future.
with that being said,
with a very fun thought. Cameron, thank you. This has been fun.
Tell the people if they want to connect with you, if they want to work with you, if they want to view the products, get the course. Where can they meet you? Where are you at on socials? How to get in contact? This is your time to shine. Tell them.
Okay, I'm Rachel Miller. You can find me on Facebook, and my business software company is called pagewheel.com. And come follow it, come join it, come get your sales pages all automated for you. And that's me.
All right. So quick recap. You can be a mom that loves your kids and still be successful in business. You just have to use the team strategy, not try to do it all yourself. From a managing multiple business standpoint, you just have to live on that schedule. And you always have to remember what works for you may not work or fit for everybody else. Who are you as a person? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What stage are you at in life? All of those things are important. Making sure your finances are in order, having some type of budget and saving strategy to even give you the ability to start thinking about other streams of income and investing are super important. She's going to say she's Team SaaS because of the future aspect of being able to possibly sell it versus she loves her marketing agency, but it just requires more of her personal time. So these are all things to think about. Everybody, if you can, connect with Rachel, share this episode, tag a friend that would just love to hear this, or maybe they're thinking about investing in another company, or maybe they're a mom and they're thinking it's too much. She got the blogs for like everything. You heard her cleaning up, dealing with a toddler. Like she probably got everything you need. So connect with her on social, try to get in her ecosystem just so you can learn and glean from her. But we are so thankful to have you here, Rachel. I would say let's do a part 2, but I know you're super busy, so.
It's gonna. Yep. I appreciate you, Cameron. I hope you have an amazing day.
All right, y'all. Until the next episode, take care of yourselves and stay safe. See ya.